Okay, we are live.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for another CAC Money Talk. I kind of want to start off this episode a little bit different because I think there's just so much that's been going on in the CAC world. I kind of want to just do like a CAC teams check in, like how's life for you, how you feel about CAC, all the things. So I'll ask you first.
Life is going well in that I am practicing like interview skills and trying to learn how to pitch myself. So that is something that's new. I am excited to practice and find new ways to pitch. So that's something that is a little nerve wracking, but exciting at the same time. So I'm really excited for that. When it comes to CAC role, I'm really looking forward to our fall cohort for our Spark program um, going live in weeks. I'm really excited to have a larger cohort this time. We just started with our initial uh, pilot earlier this year, and I think that well, and that the people who were a part of the program, I think, really got out of it, and we got some really good feedback of the impact that they're able to make not only in their lives but in the lives of their families. So that I think really helps to hit that goal that we were looking for of um, generational wealth, and really starting to make that type of impact. But yeah, I'm really excited. How are you feeling?
Yeah, speaking about Spark actually gets me excited again because when we did our fall cohort, our pilot, it was like nerve wracking at first, but then like as the weeks go on, because it's a 12-week program, you're with these people for a good amount of their life to kind of help them through all the different things that they're having and all the teachings that we're trying to give them for to better them in their money journey. But I think one of the things that really got me excited about Spark was like every week you saw like an aha moment from one person within the cohort of like, oh, that makes more sense, or oh, I never even knew that. And I was like really igniting a lot of like passion that we already have for doing what we do. So being able to start back up with that this season in September, I'm really excited to see, who's going to be in the classes, the questions they're going to ask, because we love talking money, hence the reason for this in the first place. So just being able to have a lot more conversations with people. Very excited for Spark. Also, our team is growing, so that's exciting. We are growing out. There's a lot more responsibilities that we have, which sometimes is daunting. I'm not gonna lie. Today I'm like, wow, how do I do this and manage work? I don't know, but at the end of the day, I am glad to see that our team is growing, and then we're all kind of working together really well. And like you said, we're in the process right now as a unit to try and find more opportunities to partner with different companies and different organizations. So our pitch things we're kind of shaping up on that as well. But just the idea of being able to work with others to reach more people, I think that's the thing for me right now. We were a team of two last year, and now we're a team that's growing, and we're having more opportunities, and more people want to talk to us about the opportunities to work with them and partner with them. So CSC is slowly growing. I'm growing, and I'm so excited about that. So for me, a lot to do, but feeling good about what's on the horizon, if anything. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like it's a scary excitement. Like you're a little nervous for how it would go because you know it won't be perfect, and you're kind of working your way through, but excited for what is coming.
Yeah, for sure. And if anything, I think that the way in which we work, because we care so much about the topics of money, how we impact other people, there's a lot of nervousness for new, but like the actual tangible work that we're doing, I don't think I'm ever really nervous about the idea of like, who do I have to talk to about education, financial literacy? Like, is it someone who I'm teaching, or is it somebody inspiring to work with and to collaborate with, or is it a team member I'm trying to educate on how we do that work? I feel like that's the part that I don't feel nervous about, but like, oh, we're doing it to a new group, or oh, it's a new person we're trying to partner with, or those are the things I'm like, okay, this is new for us. But outside of that, when it comes to financial literacy and being able to be in this space, it's like, this is what I love. I really do realize like I love to do this work. So yeah. But yeah, with that being said, I think one of the opening questions I had, because that's the CAC team talk of what we're dealing with right now. But we're in September of this year, which is for most people back to school. So we're talking back to school, all things. And I kind of wanted to talk about college back to school, partly because that's like my closest time of being in school. And like thinking about elementary, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a little bit while ago. But like when it comes to campus life, college life, and for us, we also want to be working with college students in the future to be able to educate them on financial literacy. So I think the two come together really clearly. But I had a question about your experience in college. So before you set foot on campus, what was your understanding about like how you would pay for college? Like, what was your thought? Like, oh, I'm going to college. This is how I'm going to pay for it. But then, what did it actually turn out to be? And like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I will say that I didn't think about it.
Mm.
So you can call it privilege or ignorance, but I didn't really think about it. What I didn't realize was happening though is like, yes, I had student loans, but they were all in my mom's name,
Mm. Really?
my name for undergrad.
Okay.
So that was different. I will say that I didn't understand it, and I didn't know the full impact of it until after I graduated. When I say impact, more so impact on her. Uh,
Mhm.
but as far as like the actual um, stepping on campus, because I was on campus and everything was like included tuition, so I didn't have to pay separate fees for things. I also had gosh, what do they call it when like student job on campus?
Oh, work. What's it called? Work. We're not workforce. Oh my gosh, that's how you know how long we've been out of college. I can't remember the name of it.
Like workers comp, but I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, no, but it's something work study. There we go.
So
Got it.
program too. But it was huge. You know, for work study, you're not working like 40 hours. It might be 5 to 10. So I did work study. I
Mhm.
make like a little bit of money on the side. My mom was really adamant that my job was to be in school, not to work.
Mm.
She took on like that burden, and then if there was anything extra that I needed, I would call. But I would say I did very much the campus life, did very little paying out of pocket, at least like my first year. It wasn't until like I moved off campus that I really started to understand like how things were paid for, and that's when I got like an actual campus job. Um,
Mhm.
Initial like stepping onto campus, the most I worried about were my classes, and like the way my mom wanted, which is very much a blessing. Um,
Yeah.
and like a lot of people do not have that same type of experience. But I also realize now, recognize the sacrifice that came with that. So
Mhm.
I have to worry as much. I also understood that my mom did have a college savings plan for me, and I had scholarships. So like it was combined with all of those things that kind of covered my first couple years, and then it was after that that I had more student loans because I went out of state for college, that it was more expensive.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. I definitely I think we both are in the same boat of like student loans for college. Well, I if anything, I think my first initial thought when it came to college, how to pay for it, how I'm going to afford it. I think because having an older sister going to college, the bubble burst a little bit earlier with her than me. So my parents had some savings for my sister's college experience, but it was not with the downturn of '08. My sister graduated in '08. A lot of things changed. at that time. So when it came to funds, it was like, oh yeah, we don't have that same nest egg for you the way that we wanted to. So I'm 2 years behind or a year and a half behind. So I'm like, oh, it kind of became more real to me that, oh, this isn't something like a free ride, or there's not enough in the bank as a family for us to make it happen. So my first initial thought of paying for college was Pell Grants. Like I was just like, come on, I can get a Pell Grant. This is for me, yay! And for those who don't know, Pell Grants are awarded to some people that have a certain income and situation where you don't have to pay that back, which is really great. Grants are great, so you don't have to pay it back. However, the interesting situation that my family was in was that my dad was a high earner, but when it comes to expenses and the downturn, it wasn't going to work out for me to be able to get a lot of Pell Grants. I think I got it for like the first semester, and after that, I've never seen them again. It's always been loans. So unfortunately, my thought process was that grants would cover me through school, or at least to cover my tuition, and of course, any other scholarships. I kind of wish, thinking back then, I did a lot more like scholarship opportunity things for me to be able to cover college. But I thought, like, oh, at the end of the day, it's not that bad, or it's not going to be that impactful. A few years later, now that I'm still stuck with student loans and trying to pay them off, I realize that's such a big thing of being able to take that time within junior year and senior year of high school. It may not seem impactful now, but when you're older, you're gonna be so happy that you did those, 20, 30 scholarships to really get that extra funds in the door for yourself or wherever you're deciding to go. So that was my experience. But I think also one of the things is being on campus. My first year I didn't live on campus because of the fact of like it would have been more cost effective for me to live off campus, which was a little interesting because it was more like a hodgepodge situation of like, okay, well, you don't get like a meal card and you're not like on, you have to get transportation and like you don't have groceries. So like I have to figure out how to make it all work, which I feel like I adulted a little earlier than most of my classmates and stuff like that because I had my own car and I had groceries. Granted, I didn't have much money, so it wasn't like oh, I'm whipping it around. I'm like, no, y'all, I can only go to here and there. We don't have much gas. Like it wasn't like I could do a lot. But I was able to at least understand a lot of different things, which leads me to like the next question I have when it came to like outside of paying for school, what are the other costs that like you didn't that not that you didn't expect that you are realizing that were like underrated with living as a college student? Like for me, I think the one thing I didn't realize, like, oh my gosh, books. Oh my goodness, books. Like, why are books so expensive? Like, just books alone, just to be able to be in the class and to learn was such an underrated, like, no one tells you this type of experience. And then, of course, for me, I think also groceries. And it's not because groceries were expensive. I just never had to do it before. Like, oh, feeding myself holistically every single day was not my job beforehand. And then when I went to college, I lived out of state for my first year of college. It was like, every meal is on you. Figure that out. So that was the two things, books and groceries. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. I would just talk about like school supplies, just in general, of running out of things. At that point when I was in school, Amazon was just getting popular, so you couldn't validate, quote unquote, that like the books were like the right books. So like there would be times where people would order books in the wrong language, or they would like not the right edition that you were supposed to have. It might have been the later version. Or like there were plenty of times where I bought the older version just so I could save like $100 on a book. Because the books are crazy expensive, which is why I still have some of my college books to this day. Because they were just that expensive. Also, like I was a science major, so the information doesn't really change versus like I don't know, like comp science where like tech stuff changes and code languages change and all that stuff. I don't really have to deal with that. But yeah, with the books and just school supplies, those were very expensive. I lived off campus 3 years. Yeah, 3 out of my 4 years because at Temple, they did not supply housing outside of your freshman year. So you had to like find housing. But because of that, there was so much off campus housing. So like some of it was the school sponsored, which was much more expensive, and then some of it was maybe like landlords, like they were making bank. Like I think about that now. Like if I were to have a real estate or become a landlord, like I would definitely get a property near a college town.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, definitely. Can he like I had an apartment. Me and my mates, we each had our own like lease contract, but we were each paying I think like $600, and we had like our own bedroom and own bathroom, and we shared like a living space. But it was like a renovated church, so each we lived on the first level,
Mhm.
and three levels, and there was like a laundry room in the basement. And each of these levels, we were each paying. So he was making a lot of money off of us as college students.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very expensive. Groceries definitely my senior year. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Philly. Most of, at least where I was and where the campus was, it was a food desert. So, meaning that for those who aren't familiar, food deserts are where there aren't really actual grocery stores within a certain square mileage. You might have like a convenience store or maybe like a corner store that would have some snacks, but there was no like produce. Like you could maybe buy like a small milk or maybe some bread. But that would be about it. And they didn't get a grocery store until maybe my senior year. So it was just like it was trying to figure it out.
I was gonna
When
say, what did you survive off? What did you eat?
So because Temple was also like a commuter school, so yes, it was a very large school, but half the students, at least at the time I went there, which was about 10, 15 years ago, um, they were very prevalent in having commuter students. So
Mhm.
at different cafeterias for you so that you could just like have extra food. And we just kind of made it work where extra meals, or we had friends who had cars. Maybe we all went to like Costco one day,
Okay.
like bulk up on stuff, or maybe my mom care packages because we're still college students. So like the things where I would say that I was very, very blessed to have like family who was able to support in that way. And I won't say support in like the full way. Like I still had some days where I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to work. But I also had the campus job. So that's where it helped a lot for like the extras if I wanted anything.
Yeah, if anything, I definitely get that. And I love you brought up the point of the Costco because that I got onto that hack super late. So like if anyone is in college right now, come together. All of y'all put together for that membership amount, which is like I think $65, $50, something like that for annual. And you guys go to town on Costco or Sam's or whatever, and you just make a full haul. And trust me, especially for like the guys, they will go through those cartons of eggs in no time. So just like buying all of that stuff in bulk, you come together and decide what your grocery list is going to be. That's a hack for you guys when it comes to budgeting and trying to figure out how to eat when you're in college. But for myself, I think I also part of my college time I worked. I think it was junior year. Yeah, by junior year when I came back in, when I jumped around for my college life. I lived out of state for a few of my years of college, and then I went back home for a little bit of time as well. So I kind of had different experiences of living at home and doing college life, and then also living away and doing college life. And when I came back my junior year, I wanted to like own my own car, have my own job, but it actually taught me how to manage my time a lot better because I still had classes I had to go to. And the funds I had wasn't just to like, yay, fun money. It was like, oh no, to pay rent, to pay for groceries, like to pay for the car. If the car breaks down, like all the things I needed. So I say I moved into adulting a lot earlier and quicker than most of my college friends because of the fact that like having to be off campus freshman year kind of made me have to learn some of these things, but really putting it into full practice by junior and senior year, I was basically like, oh, this is what life looks like for me. I college while I work. And it wasn't that I ever put priority over like to do work, but it was more or less like I needed to make sure and support a lot of the lifestyle I needed to live to be able to go to college. So having that money helped me to kind of make things ends meet because it was still was not a lot. Like looking back on it, I'm still wondering how did we pay for everything and what were we getting paid? Because it felt like pennies, to be honest. Looking back, it felt like pennies.
And if I'm truly honest, I still remember the times where like I like of the three of space, like there would be times where mine would be like the last rent. And the agreement between my mom was that she would pay like if the rent was like 600 or 625, like I can't remember exactly, but like she would pay a certain amount and I would pay the rest with like my um college money or like my job money. And I remember there were times where like she couldn't send me money. And I remember my landlord telling my roommates that they might have to look for a different roommate. Yeah, like it was that like bad. And first of all, I
Too.
told them that,
Yeah.
but like otherwise it was just really shameful. Like in that trying to figure those pieces out. And I think in general, I do think back that there were certain times where I probably put my mom in like a really compromising position and that like she didn't want to tell me no. But at the same time, it is what we agreed to. So because we agreed to it, like we had to pay it. It wasn't anything where like it would have gone on anybody's credit because it was like one of those
Honor system type of like yeah.
side thing, like not fully vetted. So it wouldn't have gone on like anybody's credit. But it was one of those where I definitely had to think like more and more as I got older because I ended up living there 3 years. We all ended up living, um,
Mhm.
and I had to about it more and more of like how can I make it less on her so that I don't have to be embarrassed.
Mm, gotcha, for sure.
Came across my mind, so I would like work a little bit more hours, and I would still like my classes. I like was able to move around my classes my senior year where they were all in the afternoon. So I would work or work out in the morning and like basically have like an entire schedule so that I could um, still be able to have like a good amount of money to cover things like groceries and part more of the rent because we still had like utilities
Mhm.
and cable and internet. I can't remember exactly because things are so different now. I can't remember exactly like how we functioned. I think we did only internet and didn't do cable, but I can't remember if that was actually an option. I can't remember, but yeah, it was definitely one of those things of like balancing with being out of state. Hindsight is always 2020. And so I do wonder whether or not I would have made the same choice to be out of state, knowing how um, taxing it was on the
Mhm.
because my brother didn't go to college, my older brother didn't go to college, and I was the first. Um, it definitely is interest. It was an interesting experience in that like I was kind of the all of it for the um and trying to balance that with the family responsibility. So like how you said that you were had to kind of grow up more. Um,
Mhm.
those things were starting to hit me in different, but not like in a way that I would say that I was completely on my own because that was never the case.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. And I think that, I mean, there's a lot that is learned in college time. I think we all have kind of gone through, and everyone's journey is different, whether you're learning about how to become more of an adult or what, degree or pursuit or career is really for you, or how to navigate friendships and what that looks like now. There's like so much learning that goes on with college. So I always tell people that college is a time for learning, not just books, because there's so much to be had at that time, which kind of leads me to like our last question of just kind of wrapping up of looking back on your college experience, what's one thought of like something that you experienced with money, whether that be paying for college or trying to live and manage the things of college, or just looking back on how you navigated all things money in college time? What's one thing that you would kind of tell someone that's starting off their college year, this the freshman this year, and they really are excited about being on campus and meeting friends and all the things, but like, what's the money tip you would give them? Like, hey, keep in mind X, Y, Z.
Yeah, learn how to save and invest. That is something that I feel like I came really to the game on more so because I, but I didn't invest until like my late 20s. Um, and definitely missed out on that compound interest. But I will say that the it was a different time. And so there are now there are many more easy ways to invest than there were, or even save, than there were when we were in college. Um, I'll say specifically, even the whole rounding up system that they will like invest the money for you or save it for you, whatever your change is. And even understanding the concept that it's about the habit, not the number. And just to kind of break that down a little bit more, it's more important to build the habits of saving and of investing versus the amount that you are saving and investing. And even $5 really does make a difference when you think about things over 10 years of, even if just starting with that $5 and how that can continue to grow, you can more than triple your money over the course of 5 years, especially if you're investing $5 even per month. It just continues to compound. And that's something I would tell every college student, even anyone who is not in college and you're just over the age of 18 and can kind of manage your money on your own. Custodial accounts are still great too, but you have to have your parents to sign off on them. But if you are looking to really just kind of get your feet wet in a safe space, opening a high yield savings account for just the $5, opening, I think Robinhood is just so easy to opening a Robinhood account, adding $5 to that because you can buy partial shares. You don't have to buy a full share for you to start investing, or learning about ETFs. Those are the things that I remember in college. I never know what that thing is called, but like the wheel that has all the stocks. Like our business building in college, like had that. Like business majors had
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
like see all the different stocks, like kind of like the New York Stock Exchange.
yeah. Hmm.
I just was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like never thought at all. And just understanding that it's not just for finance majors or business majors or accounting majors to understand money, but I can understand money too, even as a person who was a science major.
Yeah, no, agreed. I mean, I was a science major as well, so the idea of money did not come from my major. I didn't do anything that, I mean, we had probably like a few classes within the business building, but like it was really just to get the elective or get the whatever. So I definitely agree with that, and I think the habit or the tool I would give similar to you. I would say that investment. I started investing in my college life. It was actually a weird way I got into investing, where there was someone on campus helping us to do our taxes, which is like, taxes? Who does taxes in college? I don't need to do my taxes. But believe it or not, yes, you do. You need to do your taxes, especially if you're working and things of that nature. And at the time, I didn't understand the concept of it fully, but there was one student that was very advantageous. He was a business major and was really helping students to understand that you can get money back for either what you had coming in for your actual job and things of that nature, or when it came to the different credits and opportunities, which we could talk about in another money talk later on. But basically, that was my first time of saying, there's more money out there to manage. How do I get my hands on those things? Like it was like that kind of idea. And I started and I opened my first investment account, personal account, I think around senior year of college. And I didn't quite know what I was doing with it yet. And I was putting something in there, but like I got the lump sum from the tax return. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I learned early on that the money I got back from the loan wasn't money just to throw in the air. And that's also something I'd probably say is like a big kind of takeaway. If you're taking money out for loans, if there's any extra over after your tuition, that is not free money. That is money to pay back later. I did not fully understand that till about junior or senior year of college, which now I'm here. I'm like, wow, maybe I could have given a couple of those thousands back to be able to make sure that my student loan was lower. But nevertheless, when I realized I got that tax return back, I was really excited about it. But then I also tried to get more responsible with it. I said, okay, let me not just spend this or cover certain things I don't quite need. Let me go ahead and invest it. And I took that first amount, put it into investment, but I didn't put much after that. It was like $5, $10, $20. But that started, like you said, the practice of being able to understand what investment is. And it's a journey to learn these things, a journey to know how to budget. There's a journey to know how to save. There's a journey to know how to invest. And college is that time for you to learn it all in the messes ups and the mistakes and all the things. So take that time to start it out for yourself. And hopefully by the end of it all, maybe not at the end of college, you know everything because we're still learning as we grow now. But at least through that process, you'll say, oh, I have a little bit of footing. And if you have any additional questions, that's what CAC is for. Like if you're trying to figure out how to do this, we're always welcome to answer questions and to help other people through their journey, whether you're in college and this is all new to you and you're not even sure about how to adult, or you're an adult and you're like, I just got out of college and I'm still confused. I don't know what to do and I need to adult right now. Like, that's always kind of like a fearing moment of like, oh, now I have to adult this moment. Okay, I guess I gotta do this now. So yeah.
I always laugh. I feel like you're so much better than me when it came to like being responsible and oh my gosh, like the amount of things. I wouldn't say I did crazy things with money. I've never been like a big spender.
Mhm.
Not being intentional.
Mhm.
My money, like even though I had a college job or not college job, a summer job every year, like I could not tell you where that like I like and I'm just like, oh, I wish. But now because I'm in a better position anyway, starting with the smaller amounts, I think helped me because I was starting with smaller amounts once I got a job and those habits then. So, yes, I don't have like the compound interest from that point. So for all of those people who are like, I didn't save earlier, I didn't invest earlier, it's not too late. Like it's never too late
Yeah. And
now to have her invest more intentionally. So it's
yeah, and I think the point that I think we as see is like in your journey and my journey in our own lives, I think we both understand that learning it, getting that building blocks is so important, even if you're doing it at 55 or 15. Like it really doesn't matter when you start that process because it's still a journey. And even if you start at 15, that doesn't always automatically mean that you're going to be 10 years or 20 years ahead of everyone else. It's still all a journey, but the faster and the earlier you start, the better it is for yourself. So hopefully you guys are inspired by that idea. And we are always here to help others. So if you have questions, reach out to us, put questions in the comments and things of that nature. And if anything, we'll talk to you guys in the next one.
bye.